Hello everyone and welcome back to Walnut English. Today we're diving into the world of dad jokes and exploring why they are so amusing from a linguistic perspective. Jokes are important because they often reflect the cultural nuances, wordplay, and references unique to a language. By understanding these jokes, language learners gain insight into the culture, history, and social dynamics of the language they are studying. So, get ready to laugh and learn. By the way, Walnut English is a freshly founded YouTube channel that needs subscribers. I mean you. By hitting that shiny subscribe button, you are not just becoming a viewer, you are becoming a key player in our journey. Your support means the world to us, our passion to keep creating the content you will love. Before moving on to the jokes, we will take a look at some terms, because gaining an understanding of these terms will lay a solid foundation for comprehending how dad jokes are constructed. Let's explore each of these terms to set the stage for our dive into the world of dad jokes. Number 1. Pun. A pun is a form of wordplay that exploits the multiple meanings of a word, or the similarity in sounds between words, to create humor or a play on words. Puns often include a clever twist of the expected meaning of a word or a phrase. When constructing a pun, we utilize homophones, homographs, and homonyms. Homophones. A homophone is a pair or group of words that have the same pronunciation but different meanings, and often different spellings. Homophones can be a source of confusion and wordplay due to their similar sounds. For example, night, which means a medieval warrior, and night, which means the time of darkness. Example 1. The knight fought valiantly. I like to stargaze at night. These two words, night and night, are homophones, meaning that they are pronounced the same way, but they have different meanings. The context in which they are used determines their interpretation. In the first sentence, knight refers to a medieval warrior, while in the second sentence, knight refers to a period of darkness. Homograph. A homograph is a set of words that share the same spelling but have different meanings and sometimes different pronunciations. Homographs can add complexity to language due to their identical spelling. For example, present, which is a noun, and which means a gift, and present, which is a verb and which means to introduce or show. Example sentences. She received a beautiful present for her birthday. He will present his research findings at the conference. In both cases, the words are spelled the same way, but they have different meanings and different pronunciations. The context in which they appear help determine their intended meanings. And lastly, homonym. A homonym is a word that shares either the same spelling or the same pronunciation with another word, but has a different meaning. Homonyms can lead to confusion and are often used creatively in puns and jokes. For example, book and book. In the first one, book is a written or printed work. For example, I'm reading a fascinating book. In the second example, book is a verb and it means to reserve something, like a table or a ticket. For example, I need to book a hotel room. Okay. Let's move on to the jokes. Joke number 1. I'm on a seafood diet. I see food and I eat it. This pun relies on a homophone between see and see. The initial phrase I'm on a seafood diet intends to play on the words by implying the person eats seafood. However, the punchline subverts the expectation by connecting the word see with food and see with seafood. The twist lies in the implied consumption of anything that is seen, resembling the idea of a diet based on seafood. The humor emerges from the clever play on words and the reversal of expectations. Joke number 2. The math book looked so sad because it had many problems. In this pun, the word problems serve as a homonym, referring to both mathematical exercises and difficulties. The humor arises from the dual meanings of the word problems. On one hand, the book is sad because it contains numerous mathematical problems. On the other hand, the humor stems from the personification of the book as if it's emotionally upset due to its many problems. This wordplay underscores the playful connection between the two meanings. Joke number 3. I used to play the piano by ear, but now I use my hands. This pun revolves around the homograph ear, which can mean both the organ of hearing and by ear, meaning playing music without sheet music. The humor emerges from the unexpected twist that plays on the idea of using one's ear to using hands. The phrase by ear in music implies playing by intuition and memory, but in this context, it's humorously interpreted as using one's ears in a literal sense. This pun employs a clever shift in meaning to create a humorous contrast.